is the Judy L. Jones Show, and I'm in conversation with Dr. Sarah Sung McFarland, a licensed psychologist since 2007 who specializes in child trauma and fashion design psychology. And today, she's going to take us to where the lost things go, according to Ike. Welcome back to the show. This is the Judy L. Jones Show, and today I'm in conversation with Dr. Sarah Sung McFarland, and we're talking about her latest book, Where the Lost Things Go, according to a big girl. I love the title. I told her when it's all said and done, I'm going to frame it. Look at that. Look at that. It's so inspiring and encouraging for our young Black queens. See themselves on the cover of anything, and highlighting them as princesses and queens is so encouraging. Now, Dr. Sarah, tell us, why should anyone read your book? What's good about it?
Well, Where the Lost Things Go is for young children who are learning how to manage when things don't go their way. We all know as adults that's a very difficult lesson to learn. Children are learning that lesson too, and it's very hard. And this is a way to help children figure out how to manage when they lose things, when they're frustrated. It's a way to use creativity to feel better.
So you are a licensed psychologist.
Yes.
And your emphasis is on children.
Yes.
Right. So in your experience since 2007, is that correct?
Since 2007,
right.
Yep.
What experiences have led you to put it in a book form versus a documentary versus a film?
Yeah.
Why a book form?
I always wanted to write for children. I always wanted to write entertaining stories that speak to some emotional things that children might be experiencing, because it's a creative outlet. And I'm also very creative as well as a helping professional. And I wanted to blend those two passions of mine.
So at this particular time, 2023, this was a good time to publish this book? What led to it?
I wanted to publish a book since like 2000. But it's been a very, very long journey. I took a course that teaches me how to write for children and teens. I wrote a story. I wrote a couple stories, actually. I've sent it out to publishers, nothing. Sent it out to publishers, nothing. So this was an ongoing process. And then an editor told me, in this climate, it's very difficult to get published as a new author. She said, unless you have a big following, a big name, because social media, it's very difficult. So she said you should really just start self-publishing to get yourself out there. Because I wasn't thinking of self-publishing. I was thinking of the very traditional way. Someone's going to find me, they're going to see me and be like, I'm the one. But no, she said you have to go out and do it on your own. It's very democratized that way. So that's when I decided to self-publish.
And plus, too, what happens is, if, like you said, if you're not a big name, if you go to the big publishing companies like Simon & Schuster, they won't even look at you unless you have a literary agent.
I know.
Okay, a literary agent. And if you don't have that, what? They won't even talk to you. So self-publishing is not to be looked on as something that's beneath you. It is a way to get your work out there. All right, so that others can see it, and maybe eventually you'll get the literary agent to promote you to the big publishing houses.
And the course that I took didn't teach that. They taught you have to just keep doing it, keep sending your book out to publishers, and eventually someone will find you. But it was like years, and I couldn't keep doing that for years and years. I had to make a change. That's when I
So how did you find the illustrator? Because this is dynamic.
Very, very basic. I went on Upwork and found it.
Yes, I use Upwork.
Upwork is really good. You have to kind of sift through, but if you find somebody, you can find somebody good and maybe not as expensive if you didn't use them. Because there are a lot of illustrators that are out there that are very seasoned and very much, forward into their career.
Right.
And they charge a lot. So you can find really affordable illustrators on Upwork.
Yeah, I use Upwork as well. I'm also a writer, and I'm working on a fictional piece, and I wanted I have a character in mind, and I wanted the character drawn. Like, I can't draw, but I can imagine what this person looks like. So I sent a copy of my written piece to this person I found on Upwork. He drew the picture. that looks just like the person I had in my head. Incredible.
Wow.
So Upwork is another way for you to get yourself out there. There's also something called Fiverr.
I looked at Fiverr too, but I found mine at Upwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just found Upwork to be a little bit more accessible for me. I could understand it better than Fiverr. But yes, self-publishing and using a different type of social outlet is ways to get yourself out there. We don't want you to be stifled. We don't want you to stop doing what you imagine in your head because you're not Oprah.
Yeah.
You're not Beyonce, and you're not a big name. You can't just find yourself a literary agent.
Right.
There's still ways for you to get out there. How has the book been received so far?
People like it because it's very magical and enchanting. It's all about a child who uses her creativity. So she's finding all of her lost things, and she tries to figure out and imagine where they might have been. And so it's very magical. It's very rhythmic. And that's how I wanted the book to feel like. I wanted to have movement.
And I've read it. Okay, I read it, and I am 62 years old, and I was loving it. Okay, oh my God! All right, so we don't want to show you everything because we want you to go out and want you to purchase the book. But if I, as an adult, can relate to it, right, and put myself on the level of a child who has lost something and is trying her best to find it while interacting with other people in her world, then so can your child. Has children been receptive of it as well as adults?
Yes, children like it because of the movement and the rhythm.
Yes.
And the images.
Yes, and the fact that we got this beautiful Black person on the cover, and it's so great. I mean, the title, Sarah, where did you get the title from?
Well, it's about finding lost things. So, and she's imagining where they go. So where the lost things go. But according to the big girl, I added, because it's important to understand development. So this is situated within the context of development. This little girl, she's learning how to do things. She's becoming more independent. She could do her hair. She could get dressed. But, development doesn't happen evenly. So there's always going to be something that you're kind of behind in. And with her, it's her learning how to manage when she's frustrated. So she was a big girl and everything else. So she had to learn how to be a big girl when she's frustrated.
And being frustrated as an adult,
yeah,
it's like madness. So imagine as a child going through the steps of being frustrated. Where do you want the book to go? Do you want it in schools? Do you want it in libraries? Where do you think you're going to get the most reception?
I want every child to have this book. But yes, libraries, schools, it's really just so helpful in trying to help kids learn how to manage just basic emotions.
Because I'm not a parent, okay, but you are a parent.
Yes.
So you can understand that because you see it from the outside looking in.
Yes.
Right? And as a child trying to go through X, Y, and Z, and A, B, and C to try to find something that they've lost can be maddening.
Yes.
Right? So to break it down in a way that they can understand it, right, is so inspiring and so encouraging because parents need all the help they can get.
And it's a true story.
It's a true story?
My little girl lost her gold shoe and we didn't find it till a couple of years later. So, and I said, you know what, just let it go and you will find it when you're not looking for it. And that's a reference to something in the book.
Get out of town.
Yeah.
Right. That can be used in any area of life. If you stop wanting it, if you stop needing it,
life still happens.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And then eventually you're gonna find it. I've had that happen. I mean, I can't find them glasses. I can't find this. I can't find that. And I said, you know what, Judy? I'm just gonna go to Walmart, go this, that, and the third. I'm gonna buy another one, and bam! As soon as I go and buy another one,
that happens all the time.
I find the thing I lost originally.
Yes.
But listen, the way Sarah has written the book is so imaginative. It's so inspiring and encouraging that you want to keep flipping the pages to see how it ends. Yes, and I was up in preparation for this interview. I said, well, I ordered the book. I'm going to sit down, and I'm going to read it. And I'm flipping because I want to make sure that she found what she lost.
Don't give it away.
No, we don't say nothing. No, I just want to make sure that she finds what she lost. The mystery of it. But for me, the title and the cover of a thing is what helps you to open it and further investigate it. Mm-hmm. And so your cover does that. Oh. Yes, because when you look at it, you're like, okay, wow, what is this about? And the title alone, let me flip it, let me purchase it and see if it spurs the imagination the way I'm thinking that it should. Right. Was that one of the ideas, one of the avenues that you and the illustrator were going for?
Yes, I wanted it to spur the imagination. I wanted to have a girl on the cover that was African American, that had some color to her, but I didn't want the book to be about that.
Okay.
I wanted to write a book that was about something else, but have representation. I like the subtle representation.
Yes, this is what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Right, because you can be anywhere. Us as African American people and parents, you can be anywhere. And if you stop and you look to the left and you see there's something that attracts you that looks like you, mm-hmm. right? That would invite you more to pick it up and at least look at the title. Mm-hmm. And if the title is inviting, then you would be more apt to open it. That can be in anything. Like there's a lot of stories that goes around saying that young girls can't be that because they don't see that.
Yeah. And it may not even be said that way. It's just the subconscious, the subtle non-representation that you see that you're not there.
Yes.
So it's important to have what we call identity anchors, to see yourself somewhere in a space, on a book, anywhere.
As a doctor, as a fireman, as a police officer, as something that you don't necessarily see on the regular. Mm-hmm. But if you see one person doing it who looks like you, then your vision, your hope is that you can be that very same thing.
Yes.
And that's what attracted me to the book. And as soon as I got the book in the mail, I sent a text to Sarah and said, girl, I'm gonna frame this and put it on my wall. As a woman writer, as a woman African American writer, mm-hmm. in your vein, in your avenue, do you feel welcomed in that community?
I'm just starting out, so I haven't necessarily found community, but I know that there's community out there. And so this book is just out now. So I'm expecting to be part of a community. I'm expecting to kind of get out there. You're not going to be part of community just kind of like writing a book and letting it sit. Yeah. You have to get it out there. You have to go to fairs. You have to put your name out there. So that's what I'm expecting to do. And then I can come back and tell you if I feel connected.
Right.
But it's challenging, but you do have to kind of just put yourself out there, and that's really your part.
Yes.
You know, if it's you can't dictate, you can't control if people are going to be receptive to you, but you can do your part and give what you have.
Exactly. That is it. Like I said, I've been writing the majority of my life, and just like Sarah said, you have to put yourself out there. So for me, I'm a part of a writing community. Well, I write once a week. Right? I'm a part of a social media outlet that focuses on New York city writers. Right? So I'm getting myself ensconced in that. And that doesn't mean that you can also get involved with that too. I'll give you I'll tip you on that. But just like she said, if you're just going to imagine a thing and don't do nothing with the thing, then it's just a dream. All right? If you're going to imagine it and you're going to do it, then you have put yourself out there and you have met your goal. You have met your goal, but you have to do it. And self-publishing and finding someone through an outlet like Upwork is a way to do it. Is a way to do it. Don't just belittle yourself and say, oh, no, I don't think so. I can't do it. You can do it. If Sarah and I can do it, then so can you. How can we find this? Where can we go?
You can go to Trulery.com. You can go to Amazon. You can go to Barnes and Noble.
It's in Barnes and Noble too?
It will be.
Okay, it will be.
Yes.
But I got mine from Amazon. Okay?
Yeah, Amazon.
I got mine from Amazon. It came with the quickness.
Yeah.
Okay? With no problem. Do you have a website, or do you have a way that our readers can, our listeners and the readers can find you?
You can go to Trulery.com, Trulery.com. That's my design and fashion psychology consulting blog and service.
There you go, folks. Dr. Sarah Song McFarland has written a book for children that helps them deal with the madness of frustration. And not only will it help children, it will also help parents help those very same children.